Welcome to the garden today. Today, I'm going to be using a wheel hoe. This is kind of the contraption I came up with. I like the knife, it cuts underneath all the roots. And this though will break up the soil because the knife itself tends to cut underneath it and sometimes it won't break it up. So the small ones will survive. Now it doesn't look like there's many weeds out here, but there is a fair amount. You also want to roughen up that ground. But we're not going to do this one first. We're going to go over here. We've got a little more weeds so you can see how it works a little better. Back. Now we have been using these to tie up the tomatoes. Just try and put them around there, click them on. We also use the gardening tape. We just want to show it. So this thing, I like this. In fact, I can go underneath it, and there's not a lot of drag on it, so I can go underneath and get underneath the weeds, cut the roots and the weeds. This ball looking for a little bit on me. And actually, I have to come back down and get this other side right here. Here's where I've been using the tape. This is the coyote. He wants to sprawl everywhere. I'm trying to keep him confined the best I can. I was using a lot of these little clips. Ran all those pretty quickly. So I've got down to here. I've done these 5 and I started running out of clips. But anyway, I like this setup. As you can see, the beans. Let me set this over here so it makes some noise. And it'll clear that up real quickly. So I'll go on both sides of it. Any cleanup I use a little hoop hoe. Most of this stuff is nut grass, so it's not that bad. Keep showing the fig, but it's coming along, growing well. I used to have this right here as another gardening spot, but my pear trees grew over the top of it because this used to be the orchard and I took it in for gardening. We do got a lot of pears on this tree growing. So we should have some pears this year as long as I keep the deer out of here, which is my niece's honey. Thank y'all.
Hey.
It's my wife, I think it's in the channel.
That's a lot of pears.
Yeah, but those deer, they got me last year. Also, I seen my first stink bug today on the tomatoes. I've already seen some of the leaf woody bugs earlier, so they're going to be a problem. This is the corn. It's growing good. I missed the rain. They were not predicting rain. We got another rain, so they did get another rain on it. I do need to heal them up. I'm gonna have to go in there. I got weed problem there in the bottom. Not a horrible problem. Not this big of an area. So I'll probably have to I run the wheel hoe through here, and I use the hoop hoe to, need to thin out the corn too, because that corn does not need to be that close together. A foot apart's fine. So I'll probably take out every other one anyway, so I can get them mixed of it. And then I'll heal it up. And what healing does, it covers up some of the weeds, and also it helps strengthen the corn stalks. Now people will say, I remember look at the camera, people will say that you don't need to heal up because they don't, commercial gardeners don't heal up. Commercial gardeners are growing 640 acres at a time in a plot. That wind does not go through that plot. It could go up and over. And if it blows over a row or two, they don't care. Here we only got 5 rows. That wind will go through it and it'll push. If it's coming from, especially coming from the north, it'll push through this, and then it hits that one. That one has nothing to push it, so it kind of goes over, and they kind of all go over at the same time. So you kind of need to. The sweet corns are worse at blowing over than the older corns, the dent corns and things. This is going to be a shorter corn, so not quite as much of a problem. And they do make a hoop hoe, a wheel hoe that can go over, but this even get too high. That has double on the fur attachments I don't hardly ever use. That would be easier for that, but I only got the single one, so I'd have to go up one side and down the other. To me, I just grab a hoe, a regular, like that big hoe that I showed. and use that. It's not worth. It's going to take me 10 or 15 minutes to change all that stuff over, find my tools and all that stuff. So it's just easier to grab a hoe and do it. And this here is my Hickory King. It's just now starting to come up. So we'll see how it does. This is a little bit older seed over here, so I'm a little nervous on that, but we'll see. But you know, I planted this later so it will not cross-pollinate with this, because this will tassel out. The pollen will get through with it, then this will tassel out, so there shouldn't be any crossover. And that's the theory. It does, when it works, it's great. But if this corn was to have gotten, if you're planting on it, some people say every 2 weeks. I think 3 weeks is probably safer, because if you have a cold weather that sets this stuff back, then that corn there could catch up with this. Now I have let it get big enough. I don't think that's going to happen, but that has happened to me in the past. Not as bad with this flower corn, because if it cross-pollinates, who really cares? You know, it's not that big of a deal. But your dent corn, especially your popcorn, can really screw up your sweet corn, because it just don't taste that good. Now the dent corn, if you hit it right, tastes fine, but you got like a 2 or 3 day window to get it right. Where your sweet corns, you got 2 weeks, but if it's cross-pollinated with this, you're back to 2 or 3 days. So it does screw it up. And you know, how far apart do you? Some people try to use space, and why I'll put it out in a different part of the garden. It's about 600 yards, I think they say, and probably more like 100 yards. You'd be safe. And honestly, I'm probably 100 or so yards between here and the front yard. I don't worry about them cross-pollinating as much. So they'll do a little bit of cross-pollinating. You know, even though we got the garden, if they're pollinating at the same time, this corn will pollinate that stuff up there by the house. Even though way over there and you got trees blocking and all that, that pollen goes everywhere. Because corn is wind pollinated. It's not pollinated by the bees and stuff. They can, but that's not, you know, the pollen's up here and the silk's down here, so they're not expecting that insect to pollinate up here and then run down there and pollinate the bottom. They just don't do that. So, because pollination for bees is an accident anyway. They're not doing it on purpose. They're doing it trying to get the nectar out. And once they get the nectar, the pollen's just a side job. You know, it doesn't really help the bee any. So here we've got the squash plants. A lot of weeds coming up now. So gotta get the Wheelhoe in here. And like I say, this won't take me 10 or 15 minutes. It may be a little bit wet. I may have to wait till tomorrow. So we'll check that out. But you know, the other squash is catching up on it. We did have here. The one I seen fell off. I'm not sure. I mean, I really think something knocked it off, but I could be wrong. We got another one over here. It's bigger. So either it didn't got pollinated or something came in and knocked it off, one of the two. So you know, but these here are getting close to being big enough to start blooming out also. Now you can see right here, this here's Bermuda, well, yeah, this is Bermuda grass. Actually that's carpet grass, I believe. This one I do it. I think that's Bermuda grass. But like I say, it's growing really well. So, and that does mean you got good fertility. If you got a little short, stubby, you know, grass and little short weeds that's not growing well, you just don't have good fertility, you know. And fertility, I would say that's anything that you apply. Whether it's compost, whether it's synthetic fertilizers, anything that you put on the garden is to increase or make the soil better is considered fertilizer, okay? A lot of people, and fertilizer, you have to continue to apply it, whether it's synthetic or whether it's organic. Organic fertilizers do give you more benefits than your synthetics, because synthetics just have the nutrients. Your organics will help improve soil tilth. It just makes the soil better and helps the roots. You get the mycorrhizas going good and all that stuff, and it does have additional benefits. But compost is also a very weak fertilizer. You're getting like a 0.5% per pound of nutrients in it, where urea you're getting 45%. It's almost like, I think I was doing the numbers. For me, this field out here, let's say it's about an acre, I'd have to put, I think, 2 tons on it to equal the amount of fertilizer that I get on 2 bags of urea. So, you know, in small gardens you can do that. The bigger the garden you get, the harder it gets to do the organics. Now here I've got a problem because I got a neighbor right there. I got fences all around me. I can't get I can't get like the chip drop off or whatever close to me to where it won't be so bad, so I can actually maneuver it around. I'd have to truck it about 100 yards to get it here in a wagon or, you know, a wheelbarrow. So I don't use as much of that. I have used the manure on the tomatoes, and it's done really well. So that's good. Let me take these strings down. I leave the strings up so I know where the plants are, because right now we've got the cantaloupes and they're growing right here. Lots of weeds around them. I've got to control these weeds, and this is crabgrass because they would get away from you in a hurry. Here is the lima beans, and I can show you one. Dude, they did not do well. Now the Canterbury beans, they went ahead and came up. So, and also this you're seeing right here is those mole crickets. They don't help anything. I don't think they're what ate the lima beans, but they do cause problems. Not a whole lot I can do for them right now. You can see this bean here come up a lot earlier, so it's way ahead of the game. I thought I put enough moisture down to bring these beans up, and apparently I didn't. Because normally we would get a rain in between. I wouldn't know the difference, but I did put water down below it, and then I put the beans down, and we didn't get any rain. And it was powder dry on top, so that was a problem. But anyway, that's the garden here minus the tomato plants. I'll do a different video to show you how the raised beds are doing. It's kind of plus or minus. The potatoes on the raised beds did horrible, but the other stuff's doing really well. But anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see y'all next time.